In this video, we're going to learn how to make a copy for every student in your class for an assignment through Otis, which is different than Google. So we're going to learn how Otis and Google function differently. We're going to learn how we use this for formative assessments, not summative, how to assign a document, and how to find that document in your Google Drive folder. So we know that Otis is different than Google Classroom and that we're moving away from Google Classroom as our learning management system for many reasons. If you wanted to assign a formative assignment of some sort that does not go in the gradebook, that has a Google Doc, Google Sheet, a Google Slide, any type of Google product tied to it, you still have to go into the assessments and assign it via Rubric in order for Otis to create a copy for every student, which is something that's very normal in Google Classroom. You do not have to make a rubric for every one of these. These rubrics are not tied to standards, but you do have to create one in order for Otis to make that. So you can see that there are 3 rubrics that have these airplanes, which means it was shared with them from a different account. And in this instance, it was shared by the Roseville City School District Administrator account. So there's an elementary learning levels formative rubric, a middle school learning behaviors engagement. There's also a learning behaviors work completion, and a middle school formative rubric. I'll just open the elementary one to show that it is the 3-level limited, targeted, and basic. And then I'll open the middle school one. It is the 8 levels with the descriptors. Notice there's no standard tied to this. So if you wanted to create a formative quick check of some sort, this is what you do. Once again, this is not for a summative. A summative, you would be creating a specific rubric, or teams or the rubric committee. There would be specific rubrics used for that. But what you would want to do, and we're going to say this is a middle school, as we're using Miss McGee as an example for us, you would click on the 3 ellipsis dots, and you would want to clone this. And you can leave as much or as little as you want. We're going to say assignment 1. I would definitely give it a more specific name than that. And really, as a site, working on naming conventions is a big thing. But for our purposes here, we'll call it assignment 1 formative rubric. It is going to be a project of sorts, and it's on the middle school. We'll just leave the grading scale the same. So when we hit save, it saved that. And you can see it popped up right here. Now, when I open that, we do not need to link standards. We don't need to change the descriptors. But this is where you would want to attach a file from your Google Drive. And so we're going to go down, and I believe there's an untitled document. And we're going to select that untitled document. So you have options here. Students can view the file, which if you wanted to have specific directions attached, you could do that. Students can edit the file or make a copy for each student. This is the option that most teachers are used to using in Google Classroom. So we're going to select that, and we're going to hit save. And you can see that the untitled document is right there. You can attach multiple files. You can attach YouTube videos, links to web pages. You can attach a lot of things. Now we're going to assign this. And it says, to see this assessment in your gradebook, you must link a standard. We're not doing that because this is a formative. And now I'm going to select first period. I could choose all the periods. I could choose just a couple students. We actually want this to be due tomorrow. You can actually have it start at a later date. You can say they can only work on it from certain times, and you can give instructions here. Read the doc. Once again, you can be more specific with your directions, and there's a few other options that can allow multiple attempts, lockdown browser, time limit, things of those nature. So now once we've done all that, I'm going to go ahead and assign it, and Otis is going to process that. And you can see that no one's done it. Obviously, I've just assigned it. Now we're going to pop over to Google Drive, and there's an Otis folder in there. We're going to open that folder. I've only created an assignment for this first period, so it auto-created that folder. And you can see all those documents are in there for every student.